So a lot of you have been getting jobs, which is awesome, but you followed up and said, okay, so how can I have a great first week at my job? And I want to help you with that. Now, I know a lot of you have already had your first week, but hopefully moving forward, if you're watching this video, it's because you just got a new job. So congrats to you. Let's start off with a great first impression. I'm going to help you out today. If we haven't met, my name is Cassandra and I help motivated professionals build their careers and businesses through practical tips to gain career confidence. Let's get started. Now, before we get into it, I have to give this week's You Got a Job shout out, and that goes to Thomas Ratliff. He said that he made a major career change at 62 years old and got a new job. So congrats to you, Thomas, for being brave and making that change. That is awesome, and I hope the new job is wonderful and that you made a great impression on your first week. Now let's start helping everybody else. Now, as with everything I talk about, I believe preparation is key to having a great first week on the job. So that means before it's even that Monday morning, over the weekend, we are prepping to have a good week. First, prep for the job by looking over the job description again or any notes you took at the interview. Now, I'm not expecting you to know how to do the job before you get there, but you just want to make sure you've done a little refresher on what you might expect to be doing that first week. I just think it helps ease nerves a little bit because we can sort of get in our heads and go, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What are they going to expect from me? What's it going to be like? What am I going to do with this job? Just read your notes and remember, oh yeah, I kind of remember I know what this is going to be. Even if it doesn't mean you know how to do it, just you kind of have an idea of what's going to come this first week. And check your directions for the next morning and any details they gave you. Some places on the first day you go to HR first, not the office where you interviewed, or there's some orientation in some random building, in the office or on the campus or whatever. So make sure you're checking all the instructions they gave you. And check the directions. Where are you supposed to park? Did they say how long it takes you to walk from there into the building or to allow time for anything like going through security or something like that? Every office place has its own quirks and nuances, so you don't want to be stressed with that Monday morning or thinking, oh, I left enough time, and then realizing, oh crap, there's security. Read over all of that ahead of time so that you can set your alarm accordingly. Speaking of setting your alarm, I recommend setting a first, second, and third alarm just so you can't panic and actually sleep through the night, even if they're 5 minutes apart. Just set a couple of alarms so that you know you're good to go and you're gonna be fine. Then you can actually sleep. There are some other home things I recommend planning ahead as well. I think that first week of work is really stressful or just energy draining because everything is new, right? Every person you meet is new. Where you go to find the restrooms and the pantry, learning all of that is new. The actual tasks of the job, all new. That is energy draining. You have to concentrate on everything. And because of that, we want to eliminate as many decisions in the rest of our life as possible just to keep the stress down that first week. So I really recommend before that first week starts, meal plan and prep. Know when you're going out to dinner or grabbing food on the way home and what meals you're going to have at home and make them ahead of time so you're ready to go. So all you have to do is heat them up. It's one less thing to think about. Same with your clothes. Plan all your clothes for the week over the weekend before you start the job. Now, this is something some people do all the time. I do not. I don't know. I don't like having to do that all the time. But that first week of work, I often do it. One less thing for me to have to plan. I also recommend packing your bag the night before and put a couple extra things you wouldn't normally put in there. You want a notebook and pen so you can take notes. I always put in some sort of protein bar, energy bar, meal replacement bar, etc. just in case you need a snack in the day or you don't get a chance for lunch. Hopefully you're in an office where they take you out to lunch your first day or they at least invite you to go to lunch the first day. But I have been in situations where they were training me so hard there was never a lunch break, and around 2, I was so glad I had packed that bar. So bring something just on the off chance you might need it. Also, bring a water bottle. You know, some offices now don't even have water bottles or glasses or mugs because everyone's going green and they want you to bring your own. So just bring your water bottle so you have something to drink throughout the day. It seems really common sense, but in the stress of getting it together, sometimes we forget these things. We're focused elsewhere. So just want to make sure I say them. Okay, so you're now finally at the job. How do we have a great first week? We give a great first impression. So every time you meet someone, make sure you are smiling. You say your name clearly and loudly enough for them to hear you. No, I'm Cassandra. No. Oh, hi, I'm Cassandra. Nice to meet you. You want to make sure you're smiling. Eye contact, not on our phone, right? No devices. We don't have AirPods in or anything. We are taking notes on what people say so we give a great first impression. Now, in case you haven't figured it out from the 2 times I've already mentioned it, you need to be taking notes on everything you learned this week. When you meet with somebody and they tell you something, write it down. It shows them that you are paying attention and want to do a good job. I will be honest, I give advice all the time, or I train people and they just sit there and look at me and I'm like, you're not going to remember this. Why am I wasting my breath? You're not taking this in. So make sure you're writing it down. It just shows respect to the other person. I don't care if you have an echoic memory. That means you hear things and just remember it. You need to write it down to show them that you respect what they're saying. But obviously, you also want to have those notes to look back on. So while I am all for asking questions on a job and trying to be forward thinking on what else do I need to know, you don't want to ask something that someone has already shown you how to do. If they walked you through how to use their copier and then the next day you come up and go, oh, hey, how do I use the copier again? No, you should have taken notes, and when you had to go copy, looked at your notes, reviewed them, and walked yourself through using the copier, okay? So make sure you take tons of notes on everything they're telling you so that you have just great info to go to be self-sufficient down the road. And use your downtime well. There will be breaks in between meeting people or trainings where you're just sitting at your new desk and you sit there and go, what do I do now? We don't check our phone. We don't check our email or Facebook. This is a great time to review those notes, to look through any training manuals they gave you, to maybe read over something again. I took all my notes and made checklists on the computer when I had free time in my last job. So use that downtime really well. Over the course of the week, make sure you're following up with the people you met. You know, stop by desks and say hi. Remember names. This is another thing we write down. Make sure you're starting to build those relationships. As the week goes on, maybe start asking people to lunch yourself. You can ask them. Remember, they're busy. They're going about their day. It's not that they're trying to be unfriendly. They're just not their first priority. So don't be shocked if you have to be the one to reach out to others to build that relationship. But they will appreciate it and they will take notice. So make sure you're reaching out to those new coworkers around you. Okay. Now I have to give you my absolute favorite tip to crush your first week. And I have to give credit. I got this from my HR professor back when I was in undergrad, and I've used it at every job and it always works. So on the Friday or the last day of your first week, I don't know, maybe maybe you have a short week, maybe it's a Thursday, bring in donuts. Put them in the pantry or whatever the break room is and leave a note saying, thanks so much for making me feel welcome this week. Sign your name, obviously. Whether they actually made you feel welcome or not, this is going to go over so well. And if you're in some area where there's some sort of delicacy that everyone likes, like I used to work in Burbank, everyone loves Porto's Bakery. It's a Cuban bakery. I got Porto's pastries instead of donuts. Or if you live in Texas and you're near kolaches, go get kolaches instead of donuts. But get some sort of baked good to share with the office for the last day, thanking them for making you feel welcome. It is going to seal the deal on having an awesome first week. So I hope these tips have helped you. I hope you crush that first week, have an awesome first week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.